Hello, everybody. This is Kenny Cummins here of Chilling with Kenny C right here on tmbcafe.com. And boy, do I have some company, literally company, for tonight's show. They are a alternative acoustic trio right here in Central Kentucky. They have released numerous songs this year, including their latest, which is called Rounds, available on all streaming music platforms. Make sure you all go check that out. And they worked on some music with Molly's Midnight Villains. They got a project together called the Witch Folk Codex. Very
Well, so
intriguing.
we were
That's their
featured on
newest
one song.
album.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was there. That's Molly's Midnight Villain's newest album. We were featured on one song on that
oh,
album. It was a great time though, recording with
okay.
those guys.
Okay, well, they contribute to the project. Let's put it that way. I have all three members of Sadblacklab: Emily via Cam, Craig, and Ellis via audio. All three members are with me right now. How's it going, lady and gentlemen?
It's going great, man.
Going great.
We
Hanging
in
out.
here. We're in the Matrix.
Thursday night, can't get much better than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday.
appreciate all three members that are here. Of course, I'm very familiar with Emily and Craig for years in the local music scene. I run into them every now and then. And I think I spoke to Craig and Ellis this past earlier this year at the Lexington
Yeah.
Music Awards. We had
Yeah,
quite
the
a
that after party that they did over at Goodwood after the award show. Yeah, we got a
yeah.
chance to catch up and chat for a little while there. That was cool.
Yeah, so I've got a chance to listen to the recent music that you all have put out, getting into the fall feel, getting to the Halloween feels per se.
For sure.
So yeah, I definitely love the material that you all have been working on. Is truly incredible, and I truly enjoy it. So before we get to the recent music, and I'm getting familiar with this amazing trio of musicians, I want to start off with, how did this trio of terrific musicians join forces and formed Sadblacklab? How did y'all became a trio?
Greg, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. So in late 2019, I had I had been working on some material, some of the material that we've ended up using for the group, and I had been introduced to Emily by a mutual friend of ours. Um, she was playing in a group called Fox Talk for a minute, and their drummer was a good friend of mine, Joe Wallen. And so I met her at one of their shows, and I'd only met her like once or twice. And then the band that I was playing in, Bandit Sun, at the time, we played the same Tom Waits, the Louisville Waits show, and I think that was the first time that Emily and I talked in person about like doing collaborations or trying to see if we could get some music going. So whenever that was, like late 2019, and then we played a feature. We played one of Katie Didit's like open mic features in early 2020, and that was the first time we called it Sadblacklab. And then of course we all remember, like, February of 2020, COVID hit and everything got shut down. So we kind of started like right before the pandemic, um, happened and really closed down all the venues. But we did like some DIY stuff, and we recorded a few things like in the living room, and we were just kind of working on the material and whatever. So for us, it kind of served the purpose of just giving it some room to grow. And then
Yeah. And experimenting with like all the ways that people were getting their content out there, like in the absence of being able to come together and meet in person at bars and celebrate. So
I can't remember exactly when I met Ellis, but I remember that it was O'Neill's here in Lexington, and we had both had several libations, and another mutual friend ended up introducing us, and we just, kind of hit it off and ended up, just talking music for seemingly a pretty good amount of time that evening. And then at some point he just hit me up and he was like, "Hey, you guys still looking for an upright bass player?" So early in 2021, about a year after Emily and I had been working on music, Ellis came in and we started prepping him up. And then March of that year, things were opening back up. Things were kind of somewhat returning to normalcy. And that was when we basically kind of debuted the project, live.
Yeah.
So of course I'm familiar with Emily's band back then. And then I got familiar with Craig. So hearing Sadblacklab, seeing y'all doing shows, getting yourselves out there, and y'all definitely sound unique, very, very unique sound. And I definitely dig the tunes that y'all been working on together. It's a very good sound. It's got a nice feel of some folk, some Americana feel to it. I definitely dig the tunes that y'all
Hell
been
yeah.
working on. So
Thanks,
um
man.
so let's get to the recent release tunes of Sad Black Lab. Yeah, I have released multiple singles this year. So Below, Big Bad Wolf, which I really love. This
Oh yeah. That one's a
definitely,
fun one.
yeah, that's a Halloween-esque song to me.
Yeah.
And of course, your latest single is Rounds.
Yeah.
I want to start off with Big Bad Wolf. I want to talk about how how that song came about.
Um, yeah, so Big Bad Wolf, kind of when I started writing that tune, I probably started writing that song in, again, a lot of these songs are older and they've kind of been maturing for a long time, kind of just trusting in the process and putting things on the back burner and then finding the right elements or finding the right people, you know. And Big Bad Wolf was kind of like that. I originally had written it and there was some discussion of maybe playing it with the other band I was in. Um, but it started out kind of being about like toxic relationships or something like that, people that you don't really need in your life. And I kind of, as I was writing it, it became this very obvious metaphor with like the three little pigs and the big bad wolf and like whatever, and it kind of started going that direction. And then I feel like the further I got into it, the more the metaphor just ate the literal, like ate the other meaning, you know what I mean? Like it kind of just became that, which is cool because it's got kind of a dark twist, but it's bluesy, it's different for Sad Black Lab. That song is different than like a lot of our other
Yeah.
stuff. um it's, I don't know. I don't know exactly how to describe it. Just I know that the
High
way that
energy. It's a high energy tune.
the way that that Emily and Ellis, you know, compliment like everything that's going on with that, and it really made it. I couldn't have imagined that song being the way that it is now when I first started writing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah. So
something to be said about like the catalyst effect of adding people and adding creative influence from other people. I'm sorry, Kenny, go ahead.
no, you're good. You're good. I'm glad you mentioned Three Little Pigs. I was like, Big Bad Wolf. This sounds so familiar. And when I heard and
Yeah.
when I heard Three Little Pigs, I'm like, now it rings a bell. Like, if there was a current version of Three Little Pigs, whether it's a a movie or maybe a series, this song needs to be featured on there. I'm just saying.
I
Uh,
agree.
That'd be cool.
so that this song
100%.
it's definitely reminiscent. This I feel like a song like this can reminisce something that you loved or that you admire back in the day. Gives you
Yeah.
that that young child feels, childhood feels. Like remember Three Little Pigs growing up? Like, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
definitely remember it. So
You just gotta
um
watch out for the F-bombs. We don't want the kids to hear those.
Yeah, there's definitely a radio version of that song.
There literally is. That's awesome. Yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah, I literally look at the Spotify profile. Yeah, there is a radio edited version of the song.
It's
And then of
funny,
course,
Jason Groves, the guy, Sneak Attack, the engineer, Jason, he's a badass. If you don't know about Jason, you need to know
We
about
love
Jason.
Jason.
Yeah, he's amazing. I was like, we need to do a radio edited version for this, so that it can be played on radio and like whatever. And so the sound that comes in over the curse words is it's like a punch sound from like Mortal Kombat, so it's like
I hadn't noticed that. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it again.
yeah, it's great.
I may have to go back and listen to it too. Like, how was they gonna edit it out? Was it gonna be like a clear bleep, a beep, or was it gonna
No,
be
no,
like?
it's like the punching noise from like Mortal Kombat,
Oh yeah.
like the
Yes,
old like Sega or whatever.
that's
We weren't
brilliant.
very subtle about it. It's pretty obvious.
That's brilliant. And a big shout out to Jason Sneak Attack. He's hands down one of the best, and not just in Lexington or Central Kentucky. He's one of the best. Period. So if
Yeah,
you
for sure.
are
For
a
sure.
musician, if you're a musician, band, you need to get your music out, get that studio feel. You go talk to Jason Groves. Go to Sneak Attack Studios. I know a lot of talented musicians that's been in that studio and put out some great music there. So Jason Groves is his name. Sneak Attack is his studio. You will thank us, as in Sadblacklab, because they are a great reference. They've been in there and provide some
There's
awesome music. Uh,
so
so
many of our friends who share that opinion too. Like, he's gets stuff done and has a good time while doing it, and always happy with the result too. So
Yeah, shouts
so
out to a real one.
truly a real one indeed. So the latest single is called Rounds. It came out literally 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
So talk about that single. How y'all feeling about this latest release for Rounds?
I like Rounds. I think it came out really strong on the album. Um, that's one that we've been playing for a while. I wrote that song when I was very young, actually, like 19 or 20 years old. Like it's been a hot minute. And it was very different. It was like a weird grunge rock song kind of. At some point reimagined it, as more of a folky, more similar to how it is now, but not entirely how it is now. Again, at no point prior to meeting and collaborating with Emily and Ellis could I have predicted how much influence they were going to have on these tunes. But it's basically a love song, or it's like as close as I can get to writing a love song without feeling uncomfortable.
oh man, that's funny. I always like I always feel like if when I play that song, and this is just me, it's one of my favorite songs that we perform. Um, and I always feel like if the Pixies played folk music, that's what they would have sounded like. is that song. I just like the harmonies that I'm providing to support like the things that Greg's singing, just like very much reminds me of Kim Deal from the Pixies. But I love playing that song live. I love the way that it's changed. And I was very happy that we chose that one to release as a single for our upcoming album that's about to roll out.
Yeah. Yeah. We've actually got another single coming up too. I don't know if you know about that one or not, Kenny. It's pretty fresh, man.
Yeah, this one's the one, it's actually going to be released right on Halloween, and it's a song that I wrote, and it's called Steps. So if you want to stay in the loop about that, and anybody out there listening, feel free to hop on over to Sadblacklab's Facebook page. We just made an announcement about it, and we'll be providing all of the links to where you can listen to that next week.
And
Ooh.
our friends Molly's Midnight Villains, I know we were just talking about them a minute ago. That was kind of like that was like the big surprise of the album, right? Because they featured us on a tune on their record, and it turned out
Yes.
awesome. And then so we had them come in, and they absolutely set Steps off too. They just
Yeah.
like we featured them on this one, and it's just it's nuts how much Molly and Tom add. They're such incredible people and such incredible musicians, you know.
It was really cute too, because like Ellis and I had like were cracking up about this. Is like both Molly and Tom, they came in to record on that track, and they're like, well, we listened to it and I don't really know. And then like within 20 minutes, the whole song was like elevated to a new level, and I couldn't have been more happy. And it was just like it's just like adorable to see people like expressing some uncertainty about something, but then, you know, they show up fully and just knock it out of the park.
Right.
Yeah,
Molly.
they were initially hesitant, and then they immediately killed it. Like,
Killed
did an
it
amazing job.
immediately. So
Yeah,
it's an
it was wild.
interesting song. It's I was wanting to like kind of reach for kind of like an emo aesthetic, but without the like lyrical content seeming heavy like some emo songs can be. And so that was the starting point, and then it ends up being a song that's about encountering collective unconscious and shadow and stuff like that. So I felt like it was appropriate for a Halloween release.
Yes, Halloween, indeed. New single from Sadblacklab, featuring Molly's Midnight Villains, which, by the
You
way, are out of Louisville, witchy alt folk duo from Louisville. Smoky vocals, lightning quick acoustic shred, and lyrics that will cast a spell on you. That
Sounds
They're
is
about
so
like,
right.
fun. They're so much fun. Like it's been a discovery process, meeting new bands and finding music that kind of like is adjacent to what we're doing, because it's very hard to describe our music sometimes.
yeah.
Like when people are like, oh, you're in a band, like what kind of music is it? I always have to pause for a second, because it's kind of hard for us to describe what we do. um and so when we
Intersectional
discovered,
genres.
what's that?
Just intersectional genres, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like if you're just in a rock band, or if you're doing like something that's a little bit more standard, you know, then you can be like, oh, this. But if you're part of this weird like, you know, dark folk, not even just folk. There's like so many. Like I could shout out like 10 bands right now just from around here, and like I kind of want to. Like
Yeah.
Molly's Midnight Villains, of course, Banshee, He's Dead Jim, Caravan Discordia, uh our buddies Homegrown Head, they're a little bit more like just regular rock, but they've got like their own vibe too. Like we love those guys. Uh who else? Who else?
Oh man, everybody that was at Holler of Doom this year.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
such a
yeah.
fun event. We played at a metal festival that takes place in London, Kentucky, organized by our friend David Langley from Storm.
Stormbreaker.
Uh, and that was like that was a super super fun event. So it was neat to be included alongside some of these like heavier genres. And I think like he's doing that event again. He's already kind of like, at least I thought I saw something. The dates were kind of already out there, but I won't speak to that because that's David's thing. He'd definitely be the person to talk to.
I
Also,
generally use the.
any of sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I generally use the term alternative folk to describe us, like as a blanket term, because it is kind of hard to pin us down as a genre. But at
Yeah.
the same time, it also helps because uh, being a using a blanket term to describe us also allows us to play with a lot of various bands of wide genres. So we kind of get on bills with a lot of bands that are not in what you would call a folk. I'm using air quotes for people who can't see it because I don't have a webcam. Um, so it can be really interesting in that regard to kind of have like that vagueness in a way.
That
Yeah.
definitely makes y'all very unique.
Thank you.
Thinking about that, like, some people love to treat music like a puzzle sometimes, and by that I mean listeners in general. Like they trying to they listen to people and then they try to be like, oh, I know who that genre is, and then
Mhm.
they probably give you a different answer or response to it.
That's
I guess you just gotta let nature take its course sometimes and just enjoy
that's
the
right.
music. I know that's a little too much to ask for people these days, but I feel like I'm an odd person because I listen to literally every genre that you can think of, and being able to get different artists of different genres on here on this platform kind of makes people, understand like what can he be listening to? Because I,
There's a
I
lot.
I I listen to a lot. I do.
What's you got like a couple favorite things you've been listening to lately that you want to throw out there?
I'm one of the bands you mentioned recently, Banshee.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I'm digging them. Um, so of course, Divine Karama. That's my
Oh,
local
hell yeah.
hero. I listen to anything from him because he always gives you something that's gonna make you think. Very substance driven hip hop artist while he's still doing things in the community. So I'm gonna listen to Divine no matter what he's doing. So I'm listening to him. Wicked Peace. I'm
Yeah.
definitely digging them. They've had an incredible album. Of course, my fellas, Simple Vivi, as
Oh
well.
yes. Yeah,
So
Yeah, Derek Price.
yeah,
right
Derek
on.
and company. Get well soon, Derek. I know he posted a video. He's going through some injuries. So he won't be able to perform for the rest of the year. But he still put on him and the guys put on a dope EP. So I'm digging him. I'm just an art person, just listen to all kinds of music. That's okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm enjoying music like Sadblacklab and all these incredible musicians, and that's all that
Right on.
matters. That's all that
Right on.
matters.
Well, thanks for
Um,
sharing some of your like current favorites. I'll have to definitely have to look into some of those.
Yeah. So I love Big Bad Wolf. I love that song so much.
Nice.
So I'm definitely digging it. Y'all check out Sad Black Lab. They're on all the social media platforms. Sad Black Lab. Got the website as well.
Just
Uh,
all one word. All one word.
Yeah,
Sadblack
all
Lab.
one
No
word.
spaces.
and
And
be
we got 2 shows left for this season. It's our 2 album releases. We're having a Louisville release on November 10th at Flanagan's Ale House in the Red Room. And joining us for that one, we're going to have Molly's Midnight Villains and the Toonsmiths. And then very
On the
next
11th. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So yeah,
Go
just
ahead.
on the 11th, Al's Bar here in Lexington with NP Presley and Molly's Midnight Villains again, and our friends Homegrown Head, who I mentioned a minute ago.
Oh, I
Yep.
forgot about
We've got a
them.
bunch
Shout
of
out
pretty
to
good
them.
surprises, I think, in store for these shows, and like we're super excited about it.
Yeah,
Yes.
we worked really, really hard on this album. We spent pretty much all of July in the studio and then a couple weekends in August finishing things up. And we can't wait to share it with everybody. So
check them out. Album release shows in both Louisville and Lexington. So be on the lookout for those shows. Support local music, support independent music, and just you will be very happy that you did support these incredible musicians. Ellis, Craig, and Emily, thank you all for being on the show this evening. Oh yeah, Steps, the next single coming out on Halloween, featuring Molly's Midnight Villains. So it's coming out on Halloween. So go check that out on all the streaming platforms. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Happy Halloween in advance. Thanks again.
yeah,
thanks so much,
for
Kenny.
having us. Truly a pleasure.
Much love to you all. You have a good night.
Take it easy,
too.
buddy.
All right. Bye-bye. All right.